Welcome back to Poison Pose. In this video, we are going to learn a new chapter which is in Standard 11, Samachir Kalvi, Chapter 1, The Portrait of a Lady. This lesson was written by Kushwant Singh. Kushwant Singh is an Indian novelist and lawyer. As a writer, he is best known for his keen secularism, sarcasm, and love for poetry. He served as the editor of several literary and news magazines as well as two newspapers. Kushwant Singh was awarded with Padma Bhushan in 1974, Padma Vibhushan by the Government of India, and Sahitya Academy Fellowship by Sahitya Academy of India. Let us move on to this beautiful story. Here's a story that brings about the bond between the author and his loving grandmother. Now, here the author describes his grandmother. Now, let's see the appearance of the grandmother. The author says that his grandmother was old, short, fat, and slightly bent. She was a very old lady. She was terribly old. She was short, and just because she was very old, she used to bend and walk. She was slightly bent. Her silver hair, scattered untidily, fell on her wrinkled face. Here, the silver hair, that is the old people's white hair. The white hair, it scattered and untidily it fell on her wrinkled face. She hobbled about the house in spotless white dress. Her one hand was resting on her waist to balance her stoop, and the other telling the beads of her rosary. This old grandmother was such a prayerful lady. She wore a spotless white dress because those days when the husband is dead, when a wife loses her husband, the wife is supposed to wear only white dress. And here, this lady was wearing a spotless white dress. Since she was old, she was unable to walk. She had one of her hand resting on her waist, and the other hand was always kneading with the beads of her rosary. She was saying the prayers using her rosary. Her fingers were always busy telling the beads of her rosary. She is compared to the winter landscape in the mountains. She was so calm and quiet that the author compares her to the winter landscape in the mountains. The author, he lives with his grandmother. His parents are living in the city. So, until they get quite settled in the city, they have left the author, that is the small boy, along with the grandmother in the village. So, the first part of the story goes on like the childhood which the author spends along with his grandmother in the village, and the second part of the lesson goes on like he living in the city along with his grandmother. It talks about the relationship between the author and the grandmother. Childhood in the village. The grandmother used to wake him up in the morning, bathe him, and dress him for school. She used to say her morning prayers as she got him ready. As she was getting him ready, bathing him, dressing him up, combing his hair, and getting food for him, as she was doing all these work, she was going on saying the morning prayer. She washed the wooden slate and plastered with yellow chalk a tiny earthen ink pot and a red pen, tied them all in a bundle and handed it to her grandson. This was what she packed for him to go to school. So there were certain things, that is the wooden slate, a yellow chalk, earthen ink pot, and a red pen. These were the things that she used to pack for him when he left for school. As he studied alphabets, she sat in the temple and read the scripture. This line says that the author was accompanied by the grandmother when he went to the school. This school was not an actual school like how we were studying now. There was a school which was inside the temple where these primary children were taught to read and to write. So, as this boy was learning the alphabets, the grandmother used to sit on the corridor of the temple and she read scriptures. And after the school was over, on the way home, they fed the stale chapatis to the stray dogs. The author was given stale chapatis to eat as breakfast. And when they are leaving to school, the grandmother used to pack up all the stale chapatis when she was going take him to the school. So on the way home, there were a lot of dogs that waits for the grandmother and the grandson on the door of the temple. As they are coming home, these dogs were fed with these stale chapatis. The grandmother used to give those chapatis to the dogs, and the dogs used to fight for those chapatis, and these were their daily routines. The turning point in their friendship. This turning point comes when the author's parents are settled in the city, and they have called the author, that is their son and the grandmother, to live along with them in the city. So once they have shifted to the city from the village, the lifestyle have changed. The author, he went to an English school in a motor bus. Now, this grandmother no longer came to school. She did not accompany this small boy. He went all alone in a motor bus. So, grandmother did not go along with him to the school. She used to ask what the teacher had taught. When the small boy comes back home, the grandmother used to ask him what the teacher had taught him in school. The author replied English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, and all these were Greek and Latin for the grandmother. Not a word of it she understood. So she slowly stopped talking to the author because there was nothing above that, beyond that for them. This boy was very busy with his studies and games and play when he was in the city. Author went to the university. Now the author has a little grown up and he is going to the university for higher studies. So once he was shifted, once he has completed his schooling, and when he went to the university to study higher studies, he was given a separate room in the house. The common link of friendship was snapped. There was no common link of friendship between the grandmother and the grandson. She rarely spoke to anyone. Here, the grandmother, did not speak to anyone at all. She spent most of her time in saying the prayers. She did not talk to anybody. From sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers and feeding the sparrows in the afternoon. There were a lot of sparrows which comes near the house in the afternoon. So from the morning till the evening, she used to keep on spinning the wheel, and as she was doing that, she used to recite her. And later in the afternoon, when the sparrows come to their house, she used to feed those sparrows with bread crumbs. And there were a lot of sparrows which comes to eat those breadcrumbs and to meet this loving grandmother. Author went abroad. And this is another part which comes in the story, another turning point in the story. When the author was about to do his higher studies, so he went abroad, he went to London to do his higher studies. So when he said that he is going abroad for the studies, this grandmother was not upset at all, but she went along with him to the railway station to drop him there. She did not show any sign of sentiment. She was not sentimental at all. But when the author left, she silently kissed him on the forehead. The warmth, the chillness of her kiss made the author feel that this could be the last sign of physical contact between them, because he thought that his grandmother, is already very old. By the time he completes his higher studies and comes back after 5 years, he might not meet his grandmother. So that was what he felt when the grandmother kissed him on the forehead. Authors written. Now, after 5 years, when the author came back home after completing his studies, she The grandmother, she did not look a day older because she was already old, but even after 5 years there wasn't any change in the old lady. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum, and started. That was the first day that the author has seen his grandmother without saying a prayer. Not say the prayer. That was the first time that the author has seen his grandmother without saying the prayer. Grandmother's last hours. The next morning, the grandmother was taken ill. She had a mild fever. She was taken to the hospital. The doctor said she will be all right. It was a normal fever and she will be all right. But this grandmother could foresee that her end was near. The grandmother felt that her end has come near her, and suddenly she realized that she forgot to say her prayers. Even the family members, when they stopped her, when they asked her to take rest, she did not bother about anything. She did not listen to anybody, but she was peacefully lying down on her bed and she was saying the prayers and she was reciting the prayers using her beads. All of a sudden, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. And that was the end of the grandmother. She was lifted off her bed and laid on the ground. She was covered with a red shroud. Now, here, as it was a custom that the dead body should be kept on the ground and should be covered with a red shroud. Shroud means a big cloth, piece of cloth that is covered around the dead body. So she was covered with a red shroud. That was their custom. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor and looking at this, waiting for the grandmother to come and give them some food to eat. These sparrows, as usual, they have come, but when they saw the grandmother dead on the floor, they were all scattered and they were waiting for the grandmother to look at the grandmother. Looking at it, the author's grandmother, she went inside, brought a piece of bread, and she gave the bread crumbs. She broke the bread into pieces and gave the crumbs for the sparrows. But the sparrows, they did not take a notice of the bread that the mother gave, that the author's mother gave, but they were sitting there and looking at the grandmother. When they carried the grandmother's corpse off, the sparrows flew away quietly. When the grandmother's body was taken away from the place, these sparrows, they flew away quietly. And that was the last moments of that beautiful and elegant, quiet grandmother. Thank you for watching this video. We will meet again in another beautiful video.